Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Trippy Tree. Check it out. Lights up and shit. It's mint in it. All the garden's starting to light up now. It goes dark as well. Good. Anyway, on here for a bit more of a serious reason than to talk about a trippy light up tree. I wasn't planning on doing a video at all tonight. I wasn't even going to do a video on this subject. I was just chilling in the front room watching a bit of Breaking Bad. Unhealthy obsession with that. And I saw a video on the YouTube homepage, and it was Good Morning Britain. It was Richard Madeley talking about the disgraceful sentencing or lack of sentencing that has been handed down to Hugh Edwards. Hugh Edwards was one of the biggest newsreaders. He is the person who broke the news about the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and he has been a prominent figure on the news for as long as I can remember in my lifetime. Anyway, Hugh Edwards has been found with many images of young children, indecent images of young children. Some of these images are what are known to be Category A or Category 1 images, which is the worst kind of images. It doesn't get much worse. Now, in recent times, we're in the modern day now, 2024, and the world is a woke joke, isn't it? What seems to be happening in 2024, and for quite a few years now, is that you may put a tweet or a Facebook message or make a comment, something that somebody doesn't like. You put a comment about the government. You put a comment about rioting. You put a comment about immigration. You put a comment about the royal family. These comments could be over various platforms or in real life. And I've heard about people receiving real life sentences, and they've gone to prison. Hugh Edwards, one of the biggest broadcasters, one of the biggest newsreaders, the guy that broke the news about Queen Elizabeth's death, the longest monarch in British history and one of the longest reigning monarchs of all time. He had that job. He had that task, and he delivered it well. Will forever be tainted. There's only one shot to deliver that. And it was done on the BBC. And it'll forever be tarnished because of what Hugh Edwards went on to be found guilty of, which was being in possession of all of these gross, disgusting, perverted, illegal, immoral images. You can look at Hugh Edwards and you think a normal guy. But nobody walks around with murderer or the R word or the P word on the head. So he was a very entrusted man, and people in this country kind of took him in. Now that's kind of beside the point, but I just wanted to get that out anyway. So Hugh Edwards has just been sentenced for all of these images that he's got. And he's been given a 6-month suspended sentence. There's been talk recently about two-tier policing. Is this two-tier sentencing? I read that somebody wrote that he was never going to face jail time. Why is that? Is it because it would be too much of a blunder for the BBC? What strings can they pull? Who knows? I don't trust most things in this world as you see them. So why is the BBC's biggest kind of newsreader, the one that breaks the big stories, why has he got away with just a 6-month suspended sentence, which is fuck all for what he's done. You got to be careful of what you say these days. You can't offend anyone. You can't give your opinion without it coming back to bite you on the arse. People are scared to say what they want to say. People are in fear about putting their opinion out there. Or writing a tweet, or writing a Facebook message, talking about immigration, talking about politics, talking about the state of this country. People might have opinions on the royal family. People have opinions on everything. The riots, the protests. And there's been many people's opinions that have led them to be arrested, charged and sentenced to real jail time. So why does Hugh Edwards get off with a 6-month suspended sentence for having images of the highest class or category 1/A, with children as young as 7 years old? Why does that knobhead walk away with a 6-month suspended sentence? Which it doesn't actually mean anything, does it? Really, if you think about it, a suspended sentence means bugger all. You just got to behave. Of course you're going to behave. If you just escaped prison by the skin of your teeth for what you've just done, you are going to behave. So it's a nothingness. There's no penalty there. There's no justice. We're living in times when there is double standards. Let's go back to COVID-19. Stay inside. If your friends invite you out, you must say no. Remember that speech by Boris Johnson? You must say no. People weren't allowed to go to see their relatives, their nanas, their mothers in hospital when they were breathing their last breaths. Funerals. Not many people are allowed to go. I went to a funeral of my own grandmother in lockdown. Everyone distanced themselves. We had to. The Queen sitting at the funeral on her own of Prince Philip, someone she'd been married to for the majority of her life. That image of her sat on her own. Now, I believe that the government, they were partying just around that time of that funeral. So while she sat there, the Queen, the head of state, she's abiding by the rules. While there are all these knobheads in power, partying, drinking champagne, laughing at us common folk. They can party, they can drink, they can socialise, they can take the piss out of us. We abide by the rules. We couldn't say goodbye to our loved ones. We couldn't put our arms around or hug people at funerals. Some people weren't allowed in the hospital room when their parents were dying. And they've got to live with that, knowing that we took the piss out of. Everything's double standards. Now this, Hugh Edwards, done something so disgusting, so unforgivable, conned everybody with how he came across. And it doesn't get much worse in terms of the images that he had. And he gets a nothingness sentence. So what are all the wrong-uns that commit these kind of offences? What are they thinking right now? Bring it on. Now, I've had a guest on this channel before, okay? And he's told me that certain crimes will not get the relevant punishment that us public think is warranted because there's no money in it. There's no money in these kind of offences that Hugh Edwards has committed. But if there is a drug siege and a drug dealer gets busted, there's money to be seized Or if there is tax evasion, someone's not reported income tax to HMRC, there's money to be gained. But the crime that Hugh Edwards did, there ain't no money. It might not be the person. It might be the crime. So people that do commit these kind of crimes and do harbour these kind of images and share these images must be rubbing their hands together, thinking, whoa, look at that. He's done that and got a 6-month suspended sentence. Let's go. Write a tweet about how you think the UK is a crock of shit. You're in trouble. Have your say on something that is against the narrative that they want us to go with. You're in trouble. It's all backwards. I had to come and say something about this. I had to come and have a little bit of a rant about it. Like I said, I'm not even video ready. I've not even got my camera or table at the right angle. I had to do this weird table. You should see the state of the table. I've got this on. Tree looks good though. Where is it? Oh wait. Tree looks good. Lighting up. But yeah, we all know. I don't even need to be the one to say how backwards this country is. We all know how sideways it is, how upside down it is. And broken it is. Did a video not long ago with John Wedger about is Britain broken, and damn right it is. And there was a chance here. These crimes against children are the worst crimes because they're left with it forever. They got to deal with it forever. They go into alcoholism. They go into drug abuse. They might grow up to be promiscuous. There is trauma and PTSD and mental illness that follows. They've got to deal with this. So, someone so public as Hugh Edwards, the evidence that's been found and the crimes that he's committed, why not save a generation? Why not save children here? And why not put fear into the people that commit these kind of crimes by putting a heavy sentence on him? It's a perfect opportunity to show what the justice system will do if you commit these kind of crimes and if you start messing about with our kids. And they could have whacked a big sentence on him and deterred people from doing it. But no, they didn't. 6 months, suspended. See you later. Hugh Edwards is just going to be like, wow. Just be good for 6 months and everything's all right. It's a shit show. It really is a shit show. I think all you can do is look after yourself, look after your family, look after your children, look after your friends. And you just got to go on this journey of life on your own, because at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like anyone really cares about you above, you know what I mean? And the powers that be, they don't care. They've proven it. They proved it with COVID. They proved it with lockdown and partying away. They prove it by giving stupid sentences for having an opinion. And they're proving it now with this ridiculous non-sentence of Hugh Edwards. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Leave a comment down below what you think. I don't even need to say is it an awful sentence, because it's obviously an awful sentence, but leave a comment on what you think about the state of everything, really. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe for more content coming out soon. All take care and peace out.